What's up, everybody? It's your boy JB, and we are here today with Basketball Wives. This is season 10. This is episode number 14, you guys. So, this is the continuation of season 10. So, we're picking back up from almost where we left off last time, but not really. So, if you guys remember, in the end of in episode 13, which was what about a few months ago, we ended with the trip with the ladies in I forget where they were, Palm Springs, I believe. So this episode and we open up with Brooke. And you guys, if you guys have watched me for any length of time, you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of Brooke. And as you guys come into the live chat, also you guys please like the video, leave your comments in the comments below and in the live chat. So this episode, we just see, excuse me, we see Brooke. So Brooke is at a church, and I was kind of confused because I thought that this was a situation where Brooke was dealing with the death of her daughter. So we see her with her head down. So it actually wasn't that she was dealing with her daughter's death. She was actually dealing with the fact of her marriage disintegrating. And we'll talk about that later as we get into the episode. So then we start to see, what was going on in the day-to-day lives of the ladies. Excuse me. We see Jackie, she's talking to Doug on FaceTime. We see Brandy talking to her son on FaceTime. We see Jennifer and Jelani. They're still together. They are, officially in a committed relationship at this point, and they're getting ready to go out on a date with each other. So Jennifer is saying, talking to Jelani, and Jelani is telling her that he would like for her to, meet with his parents at brunch, which I'm cool with that. And like I said the first half of last season, that I did like Jelani, and I do like him with Jennifer. And I hope that this is something that is real and will work out for Jennifer. So we're gonna keep our eyes on that one, right? So next up, we see Malaysia. So Malaysia stopped by Jackie's place, and Jackie is talking about the fact that Doug is still, he's coaching for the Sacramento Kings, and how that's just a lot for their relationship and whatnot. So Malaysia told Jackie to call Doug and see what he was doing. So, maybe she can scout and see, who is in the background. So they called him, had a good kiki with Doug for a few minutes. And so then after they hung up the phone, Malaysia then told Jackie that, she's having some issues with Gennaro. So Malaysia tells Jackie that Gennaro sent her a cease and desist because he has, well, I don't know how he found out, but she's saying that Gennaro knows that in the first half of season 10 that she had said that, he was not paying the child support. So with that situation, he sent her a cease and desist because of that. And Malaysia is confused as to why he sent her a cease and desist, because at that particular time the show had not aired, so there was no confessionals, no nothing. So she was like, how did he know this situation? So she's thinking to herself that maybe one of the ladies may have sat down with had talked to Gennaro and had the conversation with him. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe, why do you think it's one of the ladies? And why don't you think it's maybe one of the producers or something? Like, somebody has leaked this information to him, and I don't know why her first thought was that one of the ladies had went and told Gennaro, but that's where she was thinking that one of the ladies must have said something to Gennaro. So then we see Brandy and British. So they stop by to check on Brooke. And like I said, Brooke is going through this issue with her husband. So Brooke is telling the ladies that, when it came down to her husband, she felt like something was going on in the marriage. So she said that he went to sleep and his phone was open. So with his phone being open, she said that she just picked the phone up and just started going through his text messages. And as the age old saying goes, if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it. So she found that he was texting, other women and cheating on her. So she said she woke him up to read the text messages, and she said she's moved out of the home with him in New York, and that she's moved back down to LA. So I do have to say that Brooke might not be my one of my favorite people on this cast, but I will say in this scene, I was absolutely team Brooke and about this relationship because Brandy was like, well, don't you want to kind of sit on it before you make the decision that you want to divorce him? And I was with Brooke, like my kids are grown. I haven't started, I don't want to start no family with this man who can't keep his thing in his pants. So she said she's gonna go through with the divorce, and I was like, absolutely. I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if they had children, that would be a different story. But even if they did have children, I just don't think that you should stay in a marriage just because you have kids. If you're not happy in your relationship, if you don't trust your partner, there's no reason for you to stay in that type of environment. Like it's not good for you and it's not good for the kids. And in her particular case, she doesn't have kids with this man. So I don't see the issue. If you feel like you need to separate yourself from him, go for it. Like I have no issues with that. I just really didn't like the fact that Brandy was saying, is that what just think about it. No, don't think about it. If she knows that that's like I always say, don't why stay in a relationship with someone that you know full well that you can't trust? That makes no sense to me. So if you don't feel that you can trust your partner and you don't feel like you can get over the cheating and all that stuff, then there's no reason for you to stay in that situation. It's unhealthy and it's toxic. So if she feels that the best thing for her to do is to divorce this man, then so be it. So we move over to the next scene. So we see Duffy. So Duffy is in the studio, and she's working on some beats. And so Duffy lets us know that when it comes to being on the road, that she's kind of taken, she's kind of dialed back on that. And I still have the same feelings that I had at the first half of last season. Excuse me, y'all. I still have the same feelings that I had at the first half of last season. If that's your bread and butter, don't. I mean, I get that. Iman wanted her to take a little step back to be at home with the daughter. But what is he doing? What is he sacrificing? It feels like he wanted her to do so much, but he's not giving anything in return. So that's my whole thing. Don't ask me to do something and then it's like you want me to take, and then give, and then you just all that. You know what I'm trying to say. So I don't feel like she should have taken a back seat to her been on the road. Still do it, but find a balance between being a working woman and being a mother. So she also lets us know that she is working on her album. So then not Brooke, but British came down to the studio where she was, and she's talking to Duffy about the fact that she's still dealing with this legal case. Speaking of which, is she's I mean, I'm pretty sure she still is dealing with that case, but yeah, because I don't even think she's been to trial at this point yet. But she's talking about how she's on probation and whatnot. And honestly, I don't feel nothing for British. You do the crime, you got to do the time, girl. So it is what it is. So then, they were talking about the fact that they want to do something for, to support Brooke. Not Brooke, yeah, Brooke. So they're talking about having a party, and they're talking about who all they want to invite to the party. And they asked, "Well, should we invite Malaysia?" And I was just like, "Oh my god!" It feels like to me when it comes to the ladies, and Malaysia is not one of my favorite people on this show, but I don't have an issue with Malaysia. It just feels like to me that the ladies are really trying to make an issue where there is no issue. Because even last season, the first half of last season with British, it just felt like British was trying to make an issue with Malaysia at every single turn. And that's what it's given to me right now. It's just like it feels like they are trying to make anything a little issue with Malaysia. Malaysia hasn't said anything to y'all, hasn't done anything to y'all. So I don't see why y'all can't just let bygones be. Hey Shayna, I gotta catch this episode. I gotta catch this episode. As boring as it may have been. Yeah, it was a little dry for me. I had to watch it twice too because the first time I watched it, I had left out the house. But I mean, we're gonna see what Basketball Wives get, and then I don't think it's gonna give them much. I'm doing these um reviews live because I can't sit there and watch this show and then edit, do a review in front of the camera and then come back and edit it. It's just not gonna work for me because I will be ranting in the review. So I feel like this is going to be the easiest way for me to get it. Oh, just watch the show once, come on live and talk about it, and then take my behind on to sleep, and not have to worry about editing it. But like I was saying, I do feel like when it comes to the ladies, I do feel that they are basically trying to make an issue with Malaysia. Adam, it feels like it's just coming out of nowhere, right? Because I don't understand the whole beef, especially when it comes to British. She did nothing to British last season. The only thing that happened was the fact that she brought that girl around that was that had messed with Angel Brinks' ex, and she got in her feelings about that. So I don't understand why it's such a big deal about bringing Malaysia around. And again, Malaysia is not my favorite person, and I feel like this second half of this season, I'm probably going to do a whole lot of defending of Malaysia, and it's not necessarily something that I too much want to do is to defend Malaysia. So after that, we see Jen. So she's meeting up with Jelani's parents, and this scene right here was an interesting one for me because it's typically the other way around, right? When a woman is dating a man, she typically introduces the man to her mother and her father, and the parents ask the question of the man, "What are your intentions with my daughter?" But no, Jelani's dad asked Jen, "What are your intentions with my son?" And I was like, huh? Run that back, sir. What are her intentions with your son? You might want to ask your son what is his intentions with her. Does he intend to marry this woman? Does he see a long future with her? You're asking the wrong person their intentions. But Jen, she answered the questions. She's better than me because I probably would have been like, I'm not gonna answer that question, sir. So then they asked Jen about children, and I was like, wow, we're going very far, very fast, right? We went from what are your intentions with my son to we want grandchildren. Now, question, how old is your son? Because your son could have given you grandchildren long before now. And I saw somebody ask this question on Twitter about Jen. How old is Jen? Which is a good question because I think Jen has got to be somewhere near her 40s, right? Mid to late 40s. Not saying that she can't have children, but I was wondering if, maybe she's gone through the process of freezing her eggs, just on the offset. But, she tells them that she's open to having children. I'm like, well, okay, that's cool. And like I said again, you guys, I do like Jennifer and Jelani together as a couple. I might not be the biggest fan of Jen, but I do think that they're a cute couple. And I hope that they can make the relationship last. You say that Jen is about 50? Really? I guess so. Um, so next up, we move over to Jackie. So Jackie was having a conversation with Doug, and she's talking about getting all the ladies together. And now I'm so confused with Jackie Christie. I don't know why Jackie feels like she is the glue that brings these ladies together, because most times these women are telling Jackie you too much in our business and stuff like that, and they're fighting with Jackie. So I don't necessarily know how Jackie can feel like she's a glue, right? So Jackie was telling Doug about the situation with she and Brooke. You guys remember in the last episode, um, the first half of season 10, when they went on that trip, Jackie and Brooke got into the whole argument with each other, right? Because Brooke took over the trip. So Jackie lets us know that she and Brooke have since made up with each other. Mind you, if you looked at the episode, they were showing a lot of the scenes that happened in the first half of this season. So they were showing that Brooke and Jackie just made up a week ago. I was like, wow. And if you go back and look at other scenes from the episode, they were filmed 2 and 3 months prior, right? And I did see on Twitter a lot of people were saying stuff about Malaysia and the fact that, when she was talking about Gennaro sent her a cease and desist, and they were like, she's talking about him sending her a cease and desist. but you're talking about it on the show. I don't think sometimes I think people don't listen. So I'll give you guys a little. I mean, you guys should know. So Basketball Wives season 10, they filmed this in different segments, right? So they didn't just film the second half of season 10. This second half of season 10 had been filmed months ago. This second half of season 10 was actually filmed all of last year. I think Basketball Wives started filming, season 10 in 2021 and ended in 2022, months before the show even aired, right? So Malaysia was 100% correct. The show had not aired when all of that stuff happened, when she was talking about Gennaro not paying the child support. So I want to speak on that. So we then see all the ladies, they start to show up to this party that, Duffy is throwing for Brooke to, just to uplift her and let Brooke know that they got her back, right? I feel like this was just a cast party because I noticed that they never really panned around because it looked hella empty. I noticed that they just never really once panned around. It wasn't a full event. So things were a little bit awkward because the first people who were there was Duffy, British, Jennifer, and I think that was it. I believe that was it. Because we didn't have Angel in this episode. Thank God there was no Angel Brinks in this episode. And then we see Brooke and Brandy. They're on their way to the party together. So Jackie and Malaysia show up together. And when Malaysia and Jackie got there, things were a little bit awkward when they got there, right? So Jackie and Malaysia, they sat down, and I don't understand Jackie sometimes. I don't understand why Jackie always feels the need to try to play peacemaker when she's not really a peacemaker herself. So at one point, it was like, so you had Jennifer, British, and Duffy sitting by each other, right? So Jackie told Jennifer to come sit between she and Malaysia. And I was like, that these two don't really see it for each other. Even, and if I go back to last season, when I was the first half of last season, when we were talking about it, I didn't even understand then why Jennifer was being semi cool with Malaysia, which we're gonna talk about that in just a minute. We're gonna talk about it. So Malaysia told Jackie, like, we good. She ain't gotta sit by me. And Jennifer was the same way, right? If I was Jennifer, I mean, honestly, I would just never want to be in the presence of Malaysia ever in life. That is just one person that you could never have me in the same room with, especially after what Malaysia did to Jennifer. So Brooke got there, and they were talking to her, asking her how she's doing. Excuse me, y'all. So excuse me. All right, you guys. So Brooke, she looks better than what she's actually feeling, right? So I think it was either Malaysia, no, it was actually Brandy. So Brandy is asking, Brooke, has she talked to her husband? I was like, huh? Run that back. Has she talked to him? Why does she need to talk to this man? She said that she went through this man's phone. This man is texting another woman. I left the house. Sir, I mean, there ain't nothing for me and him to talk about. So I just didn't understand that comment. So then, Brandy's talking about the fact that, she's been through that situation before. I'm like, girl, you've been through that situation multiple times with your husband. Like, how many times did your husband say he cheated on you on the Y'all Fix My Life? Like, I will never forget that episode of Fix My Life when Jason revealed how many women he had slept with, and Brandy still stayed with that man. Like, ugh, there's just no way that I could ever stay with that man after Jason has humiliated her, and it's just no way I could ever be with somebody that's humiliated me. So Brandy feels like Brooke should talk to her husband, right? And again, I'm asking a question of what is there to discuss? I can see it if she wanted to salvage a relationship, right? But I just don't understand what there is for, her and him to talk about. She said that she saw the phone. She woke the man up. That was that. She left the house. I just don't understand what kind of conversation they need to have, right? So Malaysia said, maybe, she said your heart is still bleeding, right? She said, yeah. So she said maybe you should take a beat. And I was on Team Malaysia with that. I agree with Malaysia. This man has hurt her. I don't want to say anything to you right now. Only thing I'm gonna probably say to you is gonna involve my fist. So there's nothing for me and you to have a conversation about. So I agree with Malaysia. Take a little beat. If you feel like you want to have a conversation with him, then do so. So Brandy asked Malaysia, so when you and Janera broke up, did you take some time to talk to him? She said, yeah. She said, I took about a year. And Malaysia's thing is, with me and his relationship, my relationship ending, she was like, she don't want her marriage to end. The reason why her marriage ended, it wasn't because of cheating. They just they kind of drifted apart from each other, right? And then in I think it was British's interview. British was talking about, see, this is the side of Malaysia that I want to see. I'm like, show us more of who you are. I was like, girl, again, I'm gonna keep talking about this case with British because British got a whole lot of time on her hands for somebody that is dealing with a case with the feds for fraud. She got a whole hell of a lot of time on her hands. Ma'am, worry about that fraud case and trying to beat it if you can, right? But like I said, I was on Malaysia's side. I don't feel like, Brooke should have a conversation with her husband until she is 100% ready to have a conversation with him. I get where Brand is coming from. She might want to have a conversation with him to get closure for the relationship, and that's fine. I'm okay with closure, but if she's still going through the grieving process, if she's still hurting from the relationship, then don't force the situation. Sit on it, gather yourself, gather your thoughts, and then if you want to sit down and have a conversation with him, then that's, call him up and be like, hey, we need to talk about this because, it's still not sitting right in my spirit that you did this to me. What did I, not ask the question of what did I do wrong, but why did you feel the need to go outside of our marriage instead of coming to me and having a conversation with me and telling me where you were not happy? What could have been done better? So I can take, and you can take bits and pieces from both of the ladies. Yes, maybe have a conversation for closure, but take some time for yourself before you actually sit down and have the conversation with him, right? So they're still talking about, Jennifer talked about her relationship with Eric, and then Jackie. I don't understand why Jackie felt the need to ask Jennifer, how does she feel after Eric threw the drink in her face? Jackie, that was hella disrespectful to ask that woman, how did she feel after her husband threw a drink in her face? I'm pretty sure she was livid. I'm pretty sure she was pissed. I'm pretty sure there were a slew of emotions that went through that woman's body at that time when Eric and them big ass teeth threw that drink in her face like a little bitch that he is. So then we see all the ladies there talking, you know, it was, I can't remember who all it was. I know at one point there I saw British, I saw Brooke, no British, Brandy, and I believe it might have been Brooke. And Jackie is just elated. She wants all the ladies to have a conversation with Malaysia. This is my issue. Going to be my issue with Jackie. Stop trying to force us, around a square peg into a round hole. It's not going to happen. If these ladies want to sit down and have a conversation with each other, let them do it organically instead of you trying to manipulate the situation to happen, right? So she was talking to Brandy about going to have a conversation with Malaysia because Malaysia was talking to Duffy, and Duffy's asking Malaysia what her type is, right? So eventually Brandy went over and sat with them, and then they were talking for a little bit. So then at that point Duffy got up and walked away. So it was just Malaysia and Brandy sitting there, right? So remember earlier in the and I told you guys that Malaysia feels like one of the ladies must have told Gennaro that she was on the show talking about the fact that he hasn't paid child support. So Malaysia as Brandy, had you told Gennaro that I was on the show saying that he hasn't paid child support? And Brandy looked at her like, girl, what are you talking about? She was like, I don't talk to you, and I haven't even talked to him. And Malaysia in her interview was like, yeah, I didn't believe that Brandy did it. Then if you didn't believe she did it, what was the purpose in asking her the question of if she's had the conversation with Gennaro? Like, that made no sense. Like, was Brandy friends with Gennaro before you? I just didn't understand that. I did not understand that scene, and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So we're gonna move over to the next scene. So the next thing we see is Brooke. So Brooke got a bouquet of flowers from her husband, and she's, now mind you, she got her face beat to the guys in the scene. So her husband FaceTimes her, and he's all apologetic. He wants to sit down with her. He doesn't like the fact that she's in LA and he's in New York, that they're not together. And again, Brooke ain't my favorite person, but sir, what you expect when you cheat on your wife? You just think that she's gonna be like, oh, okay, you cheated, let me get back with you. No, it don't work like that. And I could see what he was trying to do. I could see it kind of it came off like a manipulation tactic, in my personal opinion. It felt like he was doing everything he could. It's like the age old saying, you don't realize what you got until it's gone. So I feel like that's what it is with him. He misses Brooke now that he's lost Brooke. Now I don't know if Brooke is surprised or not. Again, y'all know how I feel about Brooke. She ain't my favorite person, but let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. Didn't they get a divorce? I feel like I remember seeing it in the blogs that they got a divorce, but I can't be too positive about that one. But let me know in the live chat and the comment section below. So I want to go back to the party. So Jackie, like I said earlier, Jackie's trying to play peacemaker, right? So Jackie was talking to British, and she's talking to British about wanting to get her and Malaysia together. And I'm gonna go back to what I was just saying a minute ago. Like, it's okay. Like, I get that Jackie, quote unquote, would feel like she's in the middle of situations with the ladies because she's friends with this person and she's friends with that person, but then this person don't like that person, and then that person don't like that person, right? But then again, that has nothing to do with you. You can be friends with people who don't necessarily like each other. It's not hard at all. What it is you can be friends with somebody, and you'll tell them, I'm friends with you, I'm friends with you. Don't talk to this person about, don't talk to me about that person, and don't talk to me about this person, right? That's how you can be friends with somebody. But for Jackie, and I feel like it's also for the show playing up to the drama, right? So she got Malaysia and British together, right? And again, when it comes to British, I don't understand what British's issue is with Malaysia. It gives that she's just piggybacking off of some of the other ladies' beef and issue with Malaysia, because Malaysia really hasn't done anything to her. Now, granted, I don't remember everything that happened with Malaysia and British in season 3 of Basketball Wives LA. So I can't really go back and say that Malaysia did anything to her, because I just don't remember that season that well. Only thing I can remember from that season was the drama between Brandy and Sunday, and Dre and Sunday. So I don't necessarily remember if Malaysia and British had any beef with each other. Now, if you guys do remember, feel free to chime in and let me know, but I just don't remember that far back. So they meet up with Jackie, and I love the fact that British basically told Jackie, like, girl, you in everybody else's business, and it's unwarranted. So kind of just back up. And she told her she's bored. Baby, when she told Jackie that, Jackie lost her shit. Now, before that, British was talking about how, she just wants to go out and she wants to hoe, right? And Malaysia was like, what do you mean by hoe? So she was like, if I want to go out with a guy and I want to have sex with him, I have sex with him. If I don't, I don't. So then Jackie got talking about, oh my God, your body is your temple. I was like, Jackie, you do know what she's saying. She said if she wants to have sex with the man, she will. If she doesn't, she won't. It ain't her saying that she's gonna go out there and have sex with 5 men in a row. She's just saying that if she wants to have fun, she wants to date, she wants to see what's out there. because I mean she was with Lorenzo for years, so she just wants to explore, have her little hoe phase. Doesn't mean that she's gonna go out there and sleep with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It just means she wants to go on a date. If she likes the guy enough and goes home and wants to go to a hotel with him and have sex with him, she can. If she doesn't, she won't. Like Jackie was putting 20 on 10 in that particular moment, right? So then British was telling her like how the other ladies feel like, when it comes to Jackie, Jackie does butt in and insert herself where it's not needed. And even Malaysia pointed out the scene with the party for Brooke that you wanted Jennifer to come sit over there by me. You didn't need to do that. We good. So just stay out of it, Jackie. So then Jackie was just going off, and I'm like, girl, what are you going off about? You nosy. You know you're always in these women's business. So I just really, for the life of me, did not understand why Jackie got as irate as she got, because she got irate. She's like, I'll call any of these girls up and ask them, and they gonna say that they didn't say that. And so, Bridge was like, okay, call whoever. So Jackie called up Jennifer on the phone, right? And Jennifer didn't answer the phone. So British was like, I bet you if I call Jennifer, she's gonna answer the phone. And Malaysia was like, girl, if she do that, that is so disrespectful. And I was like, you ain't lying. So British called Jennifer, and lo and behold, Jennifer answered the phone for British. I was like, oh my God. But I kind of figured why she did it, because you can kind of put two and two together. It'd be like, okay, Jackie just called me, now British is calling me. Let me see what these girls want, right? So she answered the phone, and she British talked to Jennifer and asked her, does Jackie kind of butt into their business? She said, yeah, but she doesn't have any bad intentions when she does it. So then Jackie got the phone and she asked Jennifer. I forgot what she asked Jennifer, but then Jennifer, she was talking to Jennifer, and she mentioned the fact that Jennifer mentioned that she came over to her house a day prior. So they showed the flashback, and Jackie was talking to Jennifer, basically wanting to get Jennifer and Malaysia in the same room together. And Jennifer told her absolutely not, right? And so Jennifer was like, me and Malaysia, we good. And Malaysia said, yeah, we good. And she said, I just said we good. So Malaysia touched the phone and hung up in Jennifer's face. I was like, well, damn, that was disrespectful as hell. So then, British got the phone back. She's like, let me call Jennifer back because you hung up in her face on my phone. And Jack was like, nah, don't call her back. Don't call her. But she's like, I am going to call her back because this is my phone. And she hung up, right? So, she called her back, and then Malaysia and Jennifer got into it. Jennifer was like, I didn't get a phone call from Malaysia Pargo. I got one from British, right? So they were going back and forth. And then Malaysia in her interview was like, Jennifer and I had a beef ages ago, and if she's still holding on to it, that's on her. And I was like, wait a minute, Malaysia, how would you feel if you on a vacation and a woman that you got beef with just picks up a table and chunks that table at you? If that happened, if that was me, and that's why I say with Jennifer, I never understood Jennifer and how the fact that Jennifer could even stand to be in the same room with Malaysia. Malaysia literally picked up a table and chunked it at Jennifer. Baby, there is no way in hell I could be in a room with Jennifer. Jennifer, I mean not Jennifer, but Malaysia. There's no way I would be in a room with Malaysia. It would always be on site each and every time that I see Malaysia. Now, granted, I know Jennifer is not a fighter, but anytime that I see Malaysia, I'm gonna have a weapon on me to clock her upside her head. Every time I see Malaysia, I'm gonna ring her head like a bell. I'm gonna stay on ready because, girl, if you had the audacity to pick up a damn table and chunk it towards me and you ain't never got to be in the same room together. And if we are in the same room together, my defenses are gonna be up immediately upon seeing you. So for her to say if Jennifer is still holding on to that, that's on her. It's got to be some kind of a drug. Because, girl, are you delusional? Are you stuck on stupid? Like, what is it? I didn't understand that. But that's really all I got for this episode of Basketball Wives. Like I said, so going forward with each episode of Basketball Wives, we will definitely go live. I'm thinking we're gonna try to go live an hour to 2 hours after the show. So let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about this episode of Basketball Wives. Did you guys watch it? Did you guys enjoy it? Let me know in the comment section and in the chat, and like the video, you guys, and I will catch you guys for another video. I don't know what's next. I think I have to do Real Housewives of Miami, so that'll be up later tonight or early tomorrow morning. And that's all I got for you guys. So once again, like the video. If you're in the live chat, like the video. If you're watching the replay, again, like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next one, please, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye, guys.